Good evening and welcome to my How Healthy Are You weekly educational call. My name is Dr. Thomas Brewer. I'm a PhD chemist, and I'm going to be starting off this week's call answering two questions that I had received earlier last week. The first one is a pretty common question about the cause of stomach pain. So this individual is getting a lot of stomach pain, and it's something I see quite often. Usually the cause of stomach pain, not all the time, but usually is due to excess acid buildup in the stomach. So that acid would be hydrochloric acid, and the body produces this acid from minerals that are present in the body from our food. And this acid has a job, and the job is not to digest our food. The job of the acid is to lower the pH, or essentially increase the acidity of the stomach. And that high acidity in the stomach activates the protease enzyme that digests proteins. So usually when people have stomach pain, their body is making this hydrochloric acid the way it's supposed to, but another part of the body is not cooperating, and that part of the body would be the pancreas. So the pancreas not only makes insulin and its opposite hormone, glucagon, which is what it's known for. It also makes protease enzyme. And the signal for the pancreas to release protease enzyme into the stomach is this high acidity, or the release of hydrochloric acid into the stomach. So that's the signal. If the pancreas cannot produce enough protease enzyme, well, then the body thinks it didn't get the message, so it makes more hydrochloric acid, thus leading to pain in the stomach. The solution to that is to give the body what it wants. Just give the body enzymes, a plant enzyme blend, anything that contains a lot of protease enzyme. And so the enriching gift enzymes have over 100,000 units called HUT. That is the acronym and the standard way to measure activity of protease enzyme. There's over 100,000 HUTs per capsule. I challenge you to find another enzyme with a number close to that per capsule, not for 2 or 3 capsules. So that is the main way to tell the body it doesn't need to make so much acid, and after a few days, the body will realize it doesn't need to make so much acid and the pain goes away. The worst thing you can do, and that's what everybody does, or at least almost everybody, is they dilute the acid or neutralize the acid with Tums and Rolaids and something called proton pump inhibitors. A proton means acid, or anything to diminish the acid content. And when you do that, you absolutely will get relief in the short term, but that's not what the body wanted. The body wanted protease enzyme. So when you neutralize the acid in the stomach, all your body does is add more acid. And then you never get off those Rolaids or Tums or any other medication, acid blockers and things like that. You would never stop taking them because it's just a yo-yo. You'll lower the acidity, then the body puts more acid in the stomach, that raises the acidity. You take more Rolaids or Tums, that lowers the acidity in the stomach, but the body doesn't want low acidity. It wants high acidity, and it wants enzymes. And so if you lower the acidity, the body will just keep fighting you and dumping more acid into the stomach. So that is the common issue. Now, if the pain is a little lower in the abdomen, that's usually a fat digestion issue. So it's sourced from the liver and the gallbladder, and the work that's done is in the intestine, the small and large intestine. So that pain would be lower than the gut or the stomach. Same thing, though. That is going to be an inability to have the liver make bile, which is what digests fats. And the solution there, if the pain is low, I'd start with enzymes, but if that doesn't do the job, so the enzymes will contain something called lipase, which digests lipids, and lipids are fats. So the lipase enzyme digests fats. But if that doesn't solve the problem, the next thing is to detox the liver and the gallbladder, and that's where my little morning ritual comes in, where you start the day with half a lemon squeezed into about 8 ounces of warm water. It could be 6 to 8 ounces. And then about 30 minutes later, drink freshly squeezed celery juice. And then wait 30 minutes and eat whatever you would normally eat for breakfast. But that will detox the liver. It's essentially free. Another way to detox the liver, if you're very, very sensitive, is to take the aloe max, and we'll get to the aloe max in a little bit. And if you're not too sensitive, just take the daily detox. The daily detoxification will cleanse the liver. So that's if the pain is, again, a little lower, not high where the stomach is. So that's the common causes of stomach pain. Anything other than that is going to be very specific, such as you could have an appendicitis or a weakened appendix, and you could have another issue would be parasites, yeast, or fungus in your abdominal area. The solution for that would be probiotics. Again, if the pain is lower in the abdomen and it's not due to an inability to digest fats, common cause is parasitic bacteria, yeast, or fungus, and that causes essentially an upset stomach. But again, it'll be low. It'll be lower than the stomach. It's where the intestines are, and that's a probiotic issue. It's just a matter of taking a few probiotics per meal until that goes away. Good probiotics will multiply in your system. I did a video on this. It's on YouTube. Look up Dr. Thomas Brewer without the Las Vegas term on the end. So it's just Dr. Thomas Brewer. And the video is called Probiotics versus Prebiotics. And I do a pretty good explanation on the benefits of taking probiotics and what they really do in your system. But probiotics are the good bacteria, and that's the way to kill the bad bacteria and the bad yeast and the bad fungus in your system. And they work two ways. One way is they directly kill the parasites. The other thing they do is they release enzymes, which actually help you do the final digestion of your food. So indirectly, they help you digest your food past the stomach. So they'll work in addition to the enzymes you take to digest your food. You'll get different enzymes that are produced from the probiotic bacteria. So you get a nice, complete, sweet of enzymes. So that's really the main ways, the main causes of most stomach pain, that isn't something unique to an individual when they have something more serious going on. The other question was how to recover from X-ray damage, and namely this question was about dental X-rays, but it would be valid for pretty much any sort of X-rays or any sort of radiation that's utilized to image the body. And this sort of radiation does have an effect on our tissue, and it degrades it. And if you don't do too many X-rays, obviously it does not hurt you that much, but who wants to be hurt at all? So the best way to heal from X-ray damage is to take something that is a cellular regenerator. And so what's very good at that is the Aloe Ace Max. I get this question a lot. People think Aloe Ace Max is aloe juice. No, there's no aloe juice in it at all. And aloe juice tastes pretty bad. It has to be sweetened in order for most people to be able to drink it. And it's not going to give you anywhere near the cellular regeneration as a freeze-dried product from the rind of the aloe, not the juice, not the gel. And the polysaccharides content is very high in the rind. And this is typical when vegans or anybody juices or uses a blender. When you're juicing, you're just getting the juice, and it's really good for flushes like that celery juice first thing in the morning. But for nutrition, you want the entire fruit or vegetable, the seeds, the skin, the peel, the stems. This is where the nutrition is, and normally we wouldn't eat these things, so it works perfect in a blender. So for nutrition, you want to use a blender. When you're doing something special like the celery juice, which is more of a detox, and it's something just to do all the time, it would just be celery juice. There's no fiber in there. So people get confused about the distinction between juice or juicing and using a blender. So this is sort of a tangent I'm going on here about healing the cells, but using a blender is for nutrition. You can make it a meal replacement. Juicing is not. It is not a meal replacement. And one of the best ways to juice and detox is 100% pure celery juice. But to regenerate cells, you want a lot of nutrition. But what's unique about freeze-dried aloe rind is it's very high in the chemical constituents that allow the cells to regenerate much faster. So you optimize cellular regeneration, and that way you would heal from X-ray damage, because that's what X-rays do. They're high energy, and they damage the cellular membrane. So that's what I have for an intro today. I'm going to take the call off lecture mode and open it up to questions. So do we have any questions?
Yes, doctor. How you doing? This is John Rhodes listening.
Yes.
As I spoke with you before, I was having some stomach pain, and I have it every now and then. And I think it was the probiotics that I was taking, and I got off of them as I spoke to you on email and changed back to the brand that I was changing, and it increased my plant enzymes, and it seems to have resolved the issue for what I was looking to do. So I don't know if it was an irritation, or I know I got a slight fever from a tooth that could be, moving around in terms of what's going on because I've been told by the doctor. But otherwise, that.
Whoop, I've lost you. I lost your signal. John?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we lost you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can put. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying that I went back to the old probiotic and increased the plant enzymes, and I'm not seeming to have that issue right now.
Right.
I haven't had any stomach aches or anything in like a week and a half.
Yeah, some combination of enzymes and probiotics. You get the top half and the bottom half taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I we pretty much talked about me staying consistent with that, and I'm doing that because I find that it's helped in my digestive aid tremendously, and everything else that goes along with that from the endocrine system. One thing that I've had with the amount of illnesses that you're aware of that I've had is that I had ability to now really, really, really learn about my body and how it's acting as I've gotten older and how I'll be.
Yeah.
That's my contribution for today.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it takes pain to get us to learn about our bodies, but that's okay. It's just a motivating factor.
Yes, and the fact that as we get older, we can't eat what we used to eat also, which has to change too, as we notice, and what you're saying is that's what that pain is for, is to let us know that there's an issue. Now the question is, how do we get that issue diagnosed, and do we go to the right people to get it diagnosed? I mean, I have a gastro doctor, as you already know. I may go to him every 4 or 5 months because they check me out for cancer and everything else that I deal with. But I'm going to plug you if anybody else is listening. If anybody who's listening to you knows the quality of your work, but it's helped tremendously for me to balance your consultations and your knowledge with Western doctors, because they do not tell you everything. They miss out on certain things, and they want to continue to see you. So they're not like they're into the solution of what you're going to. They're into just fixing the symptoms, and that is not what I want to do.
Yeah. It sounds like, I mean, that's a good strategy. Try to get as much advice as you can and see what works.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And, I continue to do that in regards to, modifying my eating habits, staying away from the dairy, the sugar as much as possible. I'm a diabetic too, so, every now and then I have to have a little something to pick me up and pick my sugar level up, but it's pretty much been maintained somewhere around 95 to 110 is where I'm bouncing. I'm finding closer in the 90s, especially in the morning after I wake up. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Did you see the video? I did a video for people like you. It's called The Carbohydrate Hierarchy. It's also on YouTube under my name, Dr. Thomas Brewer, without Las Vegas again. And it'll be good for you to listen to that, being a diabetic.
The Carbohydrate
Hierarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot from that.
Good. I will go reference it, and I will listen to it.
Okay, great.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks for contributing.
My pleasure. I'm going back on mute.
Okay. You have any other questions? Every time I do this, somebody asks a question right when I start closing out the call. Going once? Going twice? Okay. So I'm going to close out this week's call. I'll be doing another call next week. I don't have any trips planned. I keep postponing my trip to Pennsylvania waiting for things to get better with COVID-19, and things are just getting worse. And the state I'm in, they're starting to even go backwards, and other parts of the country don't want people coming in from Nevada, and they make them quarantine. And it's even bad if people want to leave the country. So it seems like this isn't over yet. And but we'll be heading out to Pennsylvania once it's a little more convenient and safe and less disruptive. So again, I'll be doing another call next week. I wish everyone a safe and healthy evening and week ahead. So with that being said, good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.